What's up, everybody? It's Aaron, your personal driver, and today is a slow ass day. So while we're waiting for rides, guys, I'm going to show you how to calculate your own personal cost per mile. You need to know what your cost per mile is because that's how you calculate earnings in this business. You're not paid by Uber. You're not paid per hour. You're not paid on commission. You are paid per mile. So to figure out how much of a profit you're making, you need to figure out exactly how expensive it is to drive 1 mile, everybody. And then you subtract video on that. I guess I can put a link in the description down there if you haven't seen it yet. So this is a quick website. You need this website to help. It's really awesome. It'll be in the description. So I bought this car with 0 miles. It was a new car, which, by the way, you guys should never do. However, my wife and I wanted to buy this car despite Uber, and then we just Uber in it because electric cars are awesome. So estimated miles when you'll sell it. Generally, people sell their car right before 200,000 because that's when it dips in price a lot. So we'll go ahead in there. Miles per year. So I'm going to double this. Now you got to include non-Uber miles too, because it all adds up in calculating it, right? So even when you're not driving, since it's your personal car, it still costs you money to drive even when you're not making Uber income. But when you're doing the overall calculation, you need to put all of this into consideration. So yeah, you need to put personal miles and Uber miles, unless you just drive your car solely for Uber, but that's usually not the case for most people. Okay, life on tires, 50,000 is pretty standard. I mean, if you want to get really technical, on the side of your tire, there'll be a code, and then each tire brand will have a more specific calculation. But roundabout tires, that's fine. 50,000 mile chain, so most tires will last a year, unless actually an electric car will last longer because they're a little bit lighter. But there's a lot of different factors into how long your tires will last, and that's something that you're going to have to figure out. I can't tell you. That's going to vary from car to car and obviously place to place. So for those of you who don't know, it is $3 a gallon here in Seattle, but I drive an electric car, so the price of gas for me is $0. It doesn't matter what the miles per gallon is, because anything times 0 is 0. So yeah, 25 is pretty standard for most cars though. Annual maintenance and oil changes. So I have an electric car, so I don't have any maintenance at all except for washer fluid. Tires are literally the only thing I need to change out on here. There's no engine, so I don't have like spark plugs. There's no oil filters or air filters or anything in here, so I don't replace anything. But I do put annual maintenance under $420, and the reason I do that is I pay a flat fee of $10 a month for electricity. So where I charge at the charging stations, it costs me $10 a month to charge there. And I know you're saying, well, that's only $120, $10 a month, right? So where's the other $300? Sometimes you don't have a charger around you when you need one, and so you have to pay the charges. It's like $1 a kilowatt, $1.25 a kilowatt, and then sometimes it's by time. And so when I use in Seattle, a lot of times they're called fast chargers. They charge your battery full in half an hour, and it costs 3 cents a minute. So, whatever. So I'm estimating about $300 a year in electric charges when I charge those stations. So this is around about how much it costs to operate my electric vehicle. Is $420 a year. It's not too bad. The cost of new tires, for me, it's $100 a tire. I kind of have to buy a specialized tire for this electric car. Again, this is going to vary for you, so look up how much your tires are going to cost and put them in there. The fair market value of your car. So when I bought this car, it was $30,000 even. So I'll put that in, and then I'll go back and change it to what it's worth after you drive it off the lot. So new, this is what the car is worth. Estimate of what you will sell the car for. I have no idea what an electric car is going to be worth in 5 years. So $2,000, I don't know. That's a guess. That'll change. You can look that up for your specific car too, but the electric cars haven't been on the market that long for me to actually know what it's going to be worth, so I'm guessing. So sales tax is actually for an electric car is 0. pretty sweet because Washington does not charge you for electric car. Interest rate for me was 3.8, which is actually kind of high, but whatever, it is what it is. Insurance cost, so for me it's going to be more than $600. It's going to be $1,200. You know what? That's not true. I have 2 cars, and then it's $1,200 a year. Is that right? $1,200, right? $100 a month. Yeah. So yeah, $1,200 is right. Annual property tax costs. Again, I'm exempt from that because I have an electric car. That's going to depend on your state, so you got to figure out what that's going to cost. So, driving costs per mile for a brand new car, for me, is 16 cents a mile, and the ownership cost of that is a 4.5 cents. So, if I owned it outright, it would only be 11 cents per minute, and the total cost per mile for all of this is the total cost per mile is 20 cents per mile, because I have $6,000 in annual costs. So that's what it costs, right? So if you drive 1 mile, you get paid $1.40 here in Olympia, and so Uber takes its cut, the IRS takes its cut, and then I have to subtract 20 cents from that. But when I calculate this kind of stuff, I do it a little different, guys. And you might say it's cheating, and that's fine, because I didn't buy this car for Uber. I bought this car for me, and I Uber in it. And so if you do what I currently have right now, because here's the thing, every time you buy a new car, out the door, it's just going to hurt, right? It has an depreciation, right? So let's do what I currently do. It's like, let's say I started Uber today, and this is just the car I had. So 17,145 is what I have on it. And then I'll keep everything the same, except for the value of my car is now worth $16,000. That's right. An electric car goes in half, basically, when you drive it off the lot. So keeping all that in mind, let's what the new cost is. So if you don't include that, then it's 14 cents a mile to drive this. And honestly, I think that's a little high. It just depends on how you particularly think is a fair way to calculate it. I actually don't consider all of my insurance and all of my payment on the car a cost for Uber. But when I'm calculating business stuff, right, because I use it for business and for other stuff. Like, I'm not always driving for Uber. So if you take that out of the equation, it's about 7 cents a mile for me. And then I just cut the difference and even and say it's 10 cents just because it's easier to calculate than 14 cents. But on my spreadsheet, I do put in the total cost per mile, 14 cents. And there's how you have it. That's how you do it. And so I would definitely use this app, guys. And then when I get home, I'll edit the video. And so, like here, I'll put what you need to do in order to, well, I'll move it here. So here, I'll put the video on about what you need to do in order to calculate your costs. And then here, I'll go ahead and put what my car looks like, my car setup. And I believe right here, you can subscribe to this channel for other stuff. So that's how you calculate your per cost mile. It's super easy because of this website. Check it out, guys, and make your own calculations and figure out how much money you're actually making.